In this video, I'm going to give you an overview and explanation about how you can get a man literally addicted to you, and I mean in a very positive sense, by utilizing what psychologists have known for a very long time. It's very simple. When you institute it, especially in text, you will do yourself an enormous favor in getting a man's interest and continuing on with a relationship. It's something you have to do continuously throughout your relationship to keep a man's interest high. This may seem unfair to you. I understand that, but when you understand the differences between men and women and how we as women love differently than how men love, you know that while perhaps not fair, you will do yourself and him a real favor by getting it, incorporating it, and continuing to do it throughout your relationship so love between you can thrive. So, who am I to talk about this? I'm Coach Paula Grooms, a dating and relationship coach, licensed social worker, and author of the book, Why Won't He Commit? How a Man Decides to Make You the One. And in my book, I explain the way women love differently than men and how men love through wondering. This is a difficult concept for women to understand because we love through knowing. You can understand it by what I talk about in the book, My Puppy Principle. And when you understand how you love puppies, I use puppies, it could be kittens, babies, what have you, but the feeling you get and the wonder you get when you look at puppies, how you love them all, big, small, short, tall, you understand how men can love women. Okay, that's kind of a given because men are not puppies to us. We don't love all men. We don't love big, small, short, tall. We don't love the human male version of the difference between a tiny chihuahua and a big mastiff. We don't. But men do. They love us as we love puppies. So when you get this foundationally, you understand also how men love through wondering. When you look into a puppy's eyes, or maybe it's out in nature, there is a wonder that comes over you. Say you do have a puppy, or you just look at puppies online, fun videos of them. You wonder about them in a way that provides you with an awe, a great feeling. This is how men love. And while, of course, there's a little variation between human loving and the simplicity of being able to love nature, animals, through wondering, it is the same concept. And when you get it, you understand how important it is to continue to make your man wonder. And what I'm talking about today in terms of getting him addicted to you flows right into that. Okay, so we want to use a very easy principle to understand, which is intermittent reinforcement. What is that? There are two types of reinforcement: consistent reinforcement and intermittent reinforcement. Now, when we want behaviors to stop and never have them again, we must use consistent reinforcement for humans. This is not how we train animals, but for humans, because we are so smart and we have higher functioning brains, we must use consistent reinforcement. Very simple example is you have a 6-year-old who wants candy at the grocery store checkout line. You say, "Not today, Johnny, not today," and he throws a tantrum. If you give in, because he ramps it up, tantrum, screaming, crying, stomping feet, rolling on the floor, it's revved up, and you, because of the embarrassment, whatever it is going on, give in. What did you just teach him? You taught him if he does that, he does it enough, he ramps it up, you will give the candy. So you mustn't. And here's the consistent reinforcement that we must have. You can never reinforce that behavior. If you reinforce it on the 7th time, on the 2nd time, whenever, you undo all the work that you've done. So for behaviors that we don't want, we can never intermittently reinforce. We must always consistently reinforce when there's a behavior we do not want. So now we get to it. Let's look at the behaviors we do want. We want him to continue to text. We want him to continue to ask us out or be present in the relationship or whatever it is that you want. That behavior, you must intermittently reinforce it to continue it. Easy example, slot machines are intermittent reinforcers. In what way? You put your 25 cents in or whatever it is each time, and you pull the lever. You get maybe a small reward. That reinforces you to want to continue. Now, I am not getting scientific here. There's more to it, but this is a great example. And we want to apply it to your man and your relationship that you want because you know he loves you, you love him, but because of the puppy principle and he commits in a different way than you do to get this to happen, we need to use everything we can. It's not playing a game. It is giving him what he so desires, which is to feel about a woman differently than other women. To literally be love addicted to you. That's a good thing. You know your goodness in the world. You know you're going to be good for him. Let's make that happen. It's very profound and what I'm all about. So, how do we do that? It's not always intermittently reinforcing on a set schedule, meaning I never answer him back before an hour. I always wait for 15 or 20 minutes before answering him. No, it's intermittent. We don't want a consistent reinforcing schedule on something that we want. You see, it's intermittent. He doesn't know what he's going to get. It's why in my texting videos I explain that you want to vary the times. You might need to answer him back right away this time. But if you're consistently answering him back every time he texts you right away, what are you doing? It becomes dull. It's true, unfortunately. Because if you were to always put the 25 cents in, and even if you got just a little more back, eventually it would just become dull. You want to wonder, anticipate. When I put the 25 in, when am I going to get it? The 25 cents in analogy that I'm using is him texting. So, this time you might text back in 7 minutes. The next time it's 70 minutes. But he's wondering because it's intermittent. And you can read a lot more about reinforcement. It's called operant conditioning. I will put a link to a couple of other people's videos that really go into this. But I wanted to simplify it for you today to understand the differences between us and how we can use things to our advantage, not to play a game, but to increase a man's interest so that he loves to his fullest potential, which he is looking for as a man. Because, like puppies to you, you want that special one. And when you commit to one, meaning adopting it, once you've committed, you are now bonded. You continue to love it through that commitment. Making a decision, then making the commitment, and following through with the responsibility. That is how men love too. So we want to get him to the point to make a decision about you through feeling something very strong about you, then making a decision, then making the commitment, and that's when he is bonded, and that's when he is best in life. He's also healthiest in life when he is partnered. So we want that. This is a win-win for both men and women, and it's what I'm all about. I trust this was helpful, so please do me the favor of subscribing, sharing, putting a like if you like this video, and I will see you next time. I trust you got a lot of useful information from today's video, but you may want more because information is not transformation. If you are struggling in your dating or romantic life in general with a relationship, you want an ex back, I work with women in programs, and you can also look on my website for my self-help courses. My website will provide you all the information you need to make a decision of whether or not you are ready to work with a coach and really move the needle on where you are in your romantic life to get what you desire and deserve. I do this using what I call a two-pronged approach, meaning manifesting on the one hand and doing the work of what I call the mechanics of men. I take the approaches and strategies, for example, some of which are in my book, but you can hear a lot more here on my playlist. For example, the Make Him Wonder playlist. That is a podcast where I actually talk with real women in a coaching conversation for however long is needed. You can hear many of those conversations here on a playlist, and if you want more and in their entirety, you can join the 80/20 Wonder Club. This is all on my website, again, coachpaulagrooms.com. I am one of the few coaches that actually do the work with clients, not a Facebook group or something of the sort, but the actual individual work that will really make the difference between success or just continuing in a situation that is not servicing you for your life's goals and your romantic dreams. Because I have found that we as women, when we are satisfied in our personal lives, our romantic lives, we thrive in all other areas of our life. That's why I do the work that I do, because women are love in the world. We deserve to get the love that we give out, and we deserve to be able to give it. And I know that you get a lot from this channel, but you can get a lot more, and you can get, again, transformation versus information. So check it out at coachpaulagrooms.com, and I trust that we will be talking soon.